Morning, everyone. This is Melissa here, and I wanted to get up this morning and start another video. I have a thumbnail here I'm going to post, and it is a picture of me at 7 months pregnant. And I want to talk about pregnancy. Somebody asked me to talk about some of the greatest or the greatest moment I've had. And I want to say some of the greatest moments that I remember, and there are so many, so I really don't just have one. I mean, there's so many, but I think within the context of motherhood, we're talking here. One of the best things was being pregnant. In this picture, I'm glowing, and a lot of women, they just glow when they're pregnant. I know a lot of women are really sick when they're pregnant, and they hate it, and they hate the extra weight. They hate being bloated and just feeling sick all the time, at least for the first part of the pregnancy. But for me, I was lucky. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any really morning sickness much at all. So I would say being pregnant is wonderful. It is so exciting. Especially as you get bigger, and people can tell you're pregnant and they just are like, at least I remember common people coming up to me and saying, "Oh, what are you having? Oh, you look so good," and the special care that you get. We can eat even a little bit more when we're pregnant and get away with it. A lot of times I would crave pickles. So, I really feel like this is an enjoyable time because you're getting pampered, usually. People tend to be a little softer toward women who are pregnant. They tend to show extra care. And I'm not saying it's all about you, but it is a special time. There's usually just that extra care. When you're bigger, too, your husband can put his ear down at your stomach and he can hear or feel the baby kicking. It's a time that's a time of learning. You're learning at, especially your first pregnancies, you're learning so much. You're learning just how much, how important your body is, that your body is actually amazing to be able to carry a baby. I know when I had 3 of my home births, I had 2 hospital births and I had 3 home births. And when I had the home births, they were amazing. They were so amazing. The prenatal care, the care that you get with a midwife compared to a regular doctor's office is like night and day. And at the time when I had my hospital births, my first one, I am glad that I had my first one at the hospital because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what to expect. I heard horror stories. I heard about expect when I get to the hospital that I'm going to hear women screaming down the hall when they have their babies. And I remember I'm somebody who can be a baby sometimes when it comes to pain, and I just wanted to get out of it. So I thought, I am getting out of pain. I am getting out of it in any way I can. And if that means an epidural or whatever, that was going to be my path. I wanted to avoid pain at all costs. So that birth, I did avoid a lot of pain. I did have an epidural, but my placenta started to separate, which was scary. And because they already started the Pitocin, they felt committed that by the next day they would definitely deliver my firstborn. So, and when they did deliver, because I had the epidural, I could not feel the contractions. And so that was really hard to push. That was a situation that I felt like I was there a little bit longer than I should have been. So then with my second pregnancy and birth, I said I was going natural at the hospital, and I pretty much did. I had a shot of Demulin, which really didn't do anything in the arm, and I did deliver natural, and it was so much easier. So from there, my third birth was a home birth, my first home birth, and it was wonderful. The people give you so much information, the midwives. I was lucky, I had a renowned midwife. She already had many kids herself and had delivered them at home herself. Back in the day, and she was great. And I had a little bit of wine, and I'm not someone who drinks. I just don't feel the consequences are worth it. um and even, I mean, I just had a little bit of wine and I couldn't stomach it and threw that up, but I was able to just do so much more when you have the home births. I mean, you're allowed to. And when I went in the shower for my back pain, and that felt great. Another time I was able to walk around and just kind of walk off the pain. Another thing I did was my last home birth, I was in the tub for a major part of it, which helped a lot. When, not that this is about home birth, but a lot of times when you're in your own home, you can be very comfortable. And something I learned through the home births, and this was something, home birth is something everybody has to think about. We were only 15 minutes away from the hospital if something went wrong. My first home birth, I did question what if the cord wraps around the baby's neck, and they said we would just take it off. And sure enough, the cord did wrap around his neck and they took it off. So they're really good. I find their care amazing. They had many books for me to read about the process. There's great books out there with pictures of where you're at when you're pregnant. In the home birth, midwives had a lot of information for me. It was really personal. Even my last home birth, they said if you didn't get your iron levels up better, we will not be doing a home birth. I had a really long home birth. Luckily, I did have my iron levels up because my last home birth was the longest and the hardest. But I was older. I was 35 delivering my last child. So what you want to do is, being pregnant is just great. And the time I had all my births, especially by the last one, the confidence you gain with having birth is amazing. You do realize your body is just amazing what it can do. And the confidence, I had no medication all 3 home births. And I wanted to go natural because with my first one, when I did have all the goodies, the epidural, and the machine to track the contractions, my first son came out really, not only as a cone head, but he came out really just kind of looking like he was drugged up. And I didn't want that. I wanted my baby to be alert and healthy. And with the home births, they were very healthy. So pregnancy is a beautiful thing. It's wonderful, and you don't need to be afraid of it. I know we're all afraid of certain things, and sometimes I get nervous when I'm walking in the country of seeing a bear, but I've been overcoming that, and that is a realistic fear to a point. But pregnancy, there really isn't a lot of fear that you really have to have. I mean, the medical care nowadays is for the most part so good. We're not living in a day and age where women used to die for the most part from pregnancy. So it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time to relax and rest and let yourself get pampered, take extra good care of yourself. And, even if it's an unexpected pregnancy, you can walk through that. You can have other women walk through it with you. And if you get to a certain stage, you are going to see that you are no longer really feeling sick if you are. You can start adapting and adjusting